The COVID-19 pandemic has brought our region's economy to its knees, and its impact has been felt in all areas. After a slow start to the season due to COVID restrictions, visitors eager to get out of the house have been flocking to northern Minnesota. Is it enough to salvage the season for tourism-dependent businesses on the Iron Range? Beth Pierce may have some answers. She is Executive Director of the Iron Range Tourism Bureau, and Donna Johnson is Executive Director of the Minnesota Discovery Center in Chisholm. And thanks to both of you for being here. Really appreciate you making the drive down. Beth, let's start with you. Have you seen a lot of visitors on the range despite the pandemic as the summer has kind of gone on?
We really have. It keeps getting better, and more people they've had enough of being home, and they're venturing out and going into our trails and exploring our museums. And
How do the numbers compare, say, to last year?
Well, one measure we have for visitors is lodging taxes at our properties, and we're only down about 30% for the year. And that's partly because we had a really strong winter. January and February we did really well, but June we're down less than 50%. So that would be the last month I would have those figures for. And then we know that July got better and August is even better yet. So.
Is the same holding true, Donna, at the Minnesota Discovery Center?
It is. We didn't really know what to expect, but when we compare our numbers year over year, for the whole season we're lower about maybe 500 people, but that's due to not hosting our big events and large weddings. Everything's kind of downsized in our groups, but our general visitors coming through the front door actually have increased.
What are some of the challenges for you as a tourist attraction, one of the main ones in the region, as you try to welcome visitors and yet stay safe for both employees and the folks who are coming in?
I think first is giving the impression it's a safe place to come and visit. It's the visual, it's the stickers, it's the hand washing stations and social distancing in all of our different areas. But we're so spread out as an organization. We have over 600 acres on our property. And our museum exhibit space is quite large, but we have to have different restrictions for each area. But there's so much room to spread out within our park between the mini golf and the trolley and Glen location that it makes it easy for us to accommodate visitors, which is helpful.
And is that kind of true, Beth, of the region in general, that maybe all the wide open spaces give the range a bit of a regional advantage over some other areas?
I say definitely yes. We have lots of wide open spaces and lots of activities for people to do. And many of our museums and attractions, they are quite large, so there's lots of space for people to enjoy.
Donna, talk about the Redhead Mountain Bike Park and what that is meaning for the facility and for the region.
Well, it's been really fun to watch the parking lot fill up. We have people from all over the Midwest visiting every day. I feel like I try to go out there several times a week and just talk to the riders and see where they're from. And out of any given time, there's at least cars from 3 different states represented in the parking lot. And a lot of people do day trips from both Minneapolis and Duluth. And then we have our local riders that come out every night, and then people exploring it for the first time. I think what's beneficial with Redhead, it's kind of centrally located, and people can do a loop from Duluth to Giants Ridge, then over to Redhead, then to Tioga and down to Cuyuna. So it's become a real destination, and we're nice and centrally located for them to gather.
And this is a former mine site?
Yes, so it's the first time we've used a mining location for a mountain bike park. It's a recreational use. So the land can go back to mining some days, so it's a temporary use of the land, but it's really unique in Redhead that the scenery is just so majestic, and everywhere you look it's a different type of scenery. You have waterfalls, you have birch groves, you have the red iron ore, you have a little bit of everything, and it's a skill level for all different people. It goes all the way up to black diamond, so we're really attracting some really professional riders to the park too.
Beth, is this kind of an outdoor sport becoming more important to the tourism mix in the region? Are trails and attracting mountain bikers and hikers becoming a more important part of what you do?
It absolutely is. With the development of the trails at the Redhead, and Giants Ridge has some new trails. As Donna said, people are flocking to those. We have ATV trail development happening up there too, and that's always been really popular and becoming even more so.
Any concerns as the summer has gone on that folks coming to visit could be bringing COVID-19 with them? Or are either of you getting any pushback from people in the communities in trying to attract people to the region?
I think it's been pretty minor. You know, not like some other areas that you hear about. I've heard a few things here and there, but I think for the most part, we know that we have a great area, and we like when our friends and family come to visit. So really entertaining other visitors is not that much different, I don't think.
Are you doing anything different this year than other years in terms of trying to reach out to people or reach new markets?
We've kind of slowed down a little bit with our marketing just because we don't want to come on too strong and make people uncomfortable. But we haven't changed. We haven't completely stopped advertising either. So we want people to know that we're here. We want them to know about all the great opportunities they have, like at Redhead and other trails and all of our lakes and beaches and the museums and attractions that we have. So so we're still trying to get the word out.
Donna, it must be kind of hard to plan with all of the uncertainty that's going on. Has that been fairly stressful for folks with your organization?
I think so. It's really hard to know how to even plan, let alone a week ahead or even forecast 3 months. And especially now with the school districts reopening and whether or not we'll get school groups this year. So for an example, we have our Science and Engineering Festival that we do for all the local school districts. So this year we're bringing it out to the schools virtually and continuing to just think outside the box on how we can bring our museums out to people without having to physically visit on site. So it takes a lot of creativity, but it's kind of fun too to have to think about things differently that without COVID we may not have considered some of the things that we've implemented.
Have pretty much all of the activities, festivals on the range been shut down for the year or turned into a virtual experience?
Yes, they've been modified. There were still some parades this summer. Pasty Fest is coming up in October, and they're going to do a virtual drive-through. You can get your pasty in Mountain Iron in the first part of October. But yes, we had lots of cancellations, like everyone.
What's the outlook as you look toward fall in terms of the numbers for the year and where you'll be on the end of this?
I think we're going to come out better than we thought going into this. And especially if schools are offering some kind of online learning, we might see people taking more 3-day weekends, traveling more into the fall than they might as families. So I think that's something to look forward to. And winter is also always a great season on the Iron Range.
Any quick message for people who might be thinking of making a visit?
Iron Range has so much history and so many great stories to tell, and now you can hear those stories and then experience them on the trails and see how mining has changed the land and how it's just a beautiful place.
All right, Beth Pierce, Donna Johnson, thank you so much for coming down and sharing some information, and good luck as the season goes forward.
Thank you.
Thank you.